This is the 8th episode in the series I'm doing for our 5-hour school week called I Want to Homeschool But. I seriously had no idea how often I was going to get this message. It's usually like this. I desperately want to homeschool. It's been on my heart for years, but my spouse doesn't support the idea. All right, quite honestly, I get this from the mamas the most. For the sake of simplicity, this is going to sound like it just comes from the moms. But if you're a dad watching, I just want you to do a quick role reversal because it applies the exact same. This is a really difficult conversation for me to have with you because marriage is so personal and I have no idea what it's like inside your home. But I'm going to break this down into what I hear the most often and what I think it stems from. Number 1 is fear. Everything that I've talked about in the series leading up to this has to do with fear. Now, there's going to be one parent who desperately wants to homeschool, that has done the research, read the books, listened to the blogs, and then you have your spouse who doesn't. So of course there's going to be one that's more reluctant because they don't know as much as you know. So it's time to catch your spouse up. Introduce and show them the stuff that you're reading. Send them the podcasts that really inspired you. Shoot them one of my videos. Heck, read our book together or read Free to Learn Together by Peter Gray. Aaron and I did that. I remember being so intrigued by the idea of unschooling. I'd sit up in bed at night reading Free to Learn and something would just blow my mind that I would share with him. And then we would get into these really long discussions about how that could look in our family and how we could implement that ourselves. It was a long road for both of us to become 100% comfortable with this. And honestly, I was a reluctant spouse. Aaron definitely knew that he wanted to do this. But I had a fear, as you guys know, of how it was going to impact my life, what people were going to think of me. I often hear, I want to homeschool, but my husband is afraid that my kid won't be allowed to play sports. Listen, these are old beliefs. Everything that you can do inside of a public school system or a private school system, you can get creative and find a way to make that work inside of your homeschool. Your partner just doesn't know it yet in the same way we didn't know it. So that's my number 1 tip is figure out those biggest fears and then how you can educate each other together so that they feel more comfortable with your desire to homeschool. Which leads me into number 2. You guys, marriage is teamwork. We are supposed to be cheering each other on and supporting each other in all of our ventures. This isn't always going to look easy. There's going to be really hard conversations we're going to have. We're going to have open communication and express why this is really important to us and why we feel it's the best thing for our family and our children. It hasn't always been like this for Aaron and I. Being able to talk openly and communicate our goals and biggest dreams so that we can step into our purpose. But once we realize that that is really the best thing for our family, we give each other space and we've created an environment to support each other and hold each other up. When Aaron says something is really, really important to him, even if I don't fully understand it, I do everything that I can to step into that and understand what the importance is. In the same way, I think that there needs to be a conversation in your home that says, this is really, really important to me, and this is why. This is why I think that this is important for our children, and this is how I see it working. There's a lot of strong feelings around home education, typically from old beliefs because of the way that you were raised, what society has told you, or even your own experience. Maybe your spouse absolutely loved their school experience and they only want that for their children. Maybe what they don't realize is that the school and the friends that their children are surrounded with looks nothing like their school experience, which is often the case these days. I also want to talk about the messages that I receive that say, I want to homeschool, but my spouse doesn't think I'm smart enough. I've received dozens of these and they honestly break my heart. My husband has always been supportive, and even when I don't feel smart enough, he's cheering me on and supporting me. When I don't know the answer, he reminds me that I'm capable of finding the answer in the same way that my kids are. Listen, if you're afraid that you're not smart enough, that's one thing. I've already told you that that's a lie. If your spouse doesn't believe you're smart enough, that's just really hurtful, and you need to tell them that. You need to explain to them that you have the ability to learn just like your children do. Resources are different. Homeschooling is not the way that it was 15 years ago when we were in school. You know, in our situation, I was the reluctant spouse. Because of my fear and my doubt, I needed time. Luckily for me, I have a spouse that gave me that time and created an environment that I could learn more about this journey so that I could get comfortable. And maybe your spouse is going to say, I'm not ready, which is what I said. And so Aaron said, okay, what do you need to be ready? And I needed more education. Aaron wanted to really implement entrepreneurship into our homeschool journey. And so he asked me to read the 4-Hour Work Week. I listened to it on Audible, and it completely changed the way I looked at our curriculum and how I was going to build out our homeschool journey. What it looks like inside my house is going to look completely different than what it looks like in your house. And I'm not trying to tell you what your marriage should or shouldn't be, but I deeply believe that a marriage is a partnership where we lift each other up and we cheer each other on, no matter what the dreams are. Even if your husband doesn't get why you want to homeschool, he should at least respect you enough to listen to that dream and tell you what it would take to make him comfortable. These are going to be tough conversations. Could be a really long road to get to where you want to be. But I believe that if it is on your heart and it's been placed there for a reason, then you're going to find a way to compromise and you're going to be able to make those dreams come true. I hope you found this video helpful and encouraging. I really want to say that even if your spouse doesn't encourage you, I do. Keep chasing this goal and this dream of wanting to homeschool. And it might be difficult, but I guarantee it's going to be worth it. If I can support you in any other way, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can always email me at Kaleena@5hourschoolweek.com. Find me on Instagram and Facebook at 5 Hours School Week. Or sign up for our newsletter at www.5hourschoolweek.com. Thank you so much. Bye.